I think innovation is important in that sense that you try to change your practice for the good of your students. So I'm always looking for ways to motivate them, to increase their knowledge, to increase their sense of agency. So not just for knowledge's sake, but that they also will do something with it and also do something for the good of the community, for the surroundings, for the society that they live in. In our school, where I teach, that takes the form of that we give lots of ownership to students. We create a learning environment in the school and also outside of the school, I think, where they can have multiple pathways to complete something, to complete a learning goal, so to speak. That sometimes is based around ICT and online tools, but it can also be through Socratic discussions. So there's loads of different pedagogies, I think, that we use. And there's not one magic bullet that works, but there's just a whole toolkit and a whole range of pedagogies, including direct instruction and more a teacher storytelling or explaining lots of stuff that's suited for that particular moment. And it's that, I think, completely iterative design, so completely looking at the moments, looking with a team of teachers what is right for that group of students or for that individual student. That, to me, is innovation. So lots of people focus on technology, but I just see technology as one of the tools that you can use to increase your students' agency. Looking at a wider perspective in innovation, I think teachers need to see themselves more as designers and act more as designers. So if you want to have student agency, you can't have teachers who just do as they're told. They need to have agency as well and really take charge of their surroundings to build the learning design around the students. And I think the biggest challenge that we have from a multiple perspective is increasing that sense of teacher agency. I think lots of teachers don't feel that they have agency or autonomy or collective autonomy to make that happen. And at the same time, the system doesn't allow it. So it's in both ways. We need to have more a culture change amongst teachers. But the politicians and administrators need to be aware that they need to create more supportive conditions for teachers to do this, a more welcoming environment. And what has been really successful in the Netherlands, I think, is that we've started to create spaces where teachers meet with administrators, with the inspectorate, with politicians, where we've created sort of like a dialogue where this is happening and everybody's being more aware of where we're heading, and that we need to have this debate of where we're going, and we need to create the conditions to make it happen. We call that flip the system. So innovation to me is happening in the classroom, it's happening within the school, with the school community, with parents and students involved and teachers, but also on a wider level. And if you don't have all these levels in your mind, in the back of your head, as teachers, but also as administrators and also politicians, then you will always fail. Then it will always be really difficult, or it will always be pockets of innovation, and it won't be a whole systemic innovation. And I think our students really need that systemic innovation. It needs to be for every student. I think equity is really important here. And the only way to really make that happen is not through a test or some other administrative measure. It needs to be that we have the best people working together as a team in front of our kids. And that's what I mean with teacher agency and innovation, contextualizing what is needed. So that will be the biggest challenge going forward. And I think every country around the world, also in Catalonia, what I've seen here. I'm really looking forward to how all these different smaller innovations will lead into a more bigger innovation stream, I think, all across the globe. So we live in interesting times.